I took the pictures, I did the editing. They would be long days, see different perspectives, work with different people. Hi guys, welcome back. So I said in my last video I was going to take you through the history of my photography and sort of how it's progressed throughout the years. I am going to do just that. I'm going to start with GCSE because I think it's an easiest point to pinpoint on a timeline. So through GCSE, obviously you start with the basics. You start with your formal elements, you look at composition, and you focus on learning about your camera. That is essentially what I did for the whole of the first year. And then when I went into second year, I started to progress a little bit more, started to try and shoot people a little bit more. And throughout all of that, I think the one thing that I have shot throughout time is plants, landscapes, flowers, that sort of thing. It's a really nice subject to practice your photography on, practice your skill set, experiment, because you're not relying on someone posing or anything like that. I think that's why it's been quite prominent throughout my photography history. So when I went to college, it was very much the same thing, but just an extension and a higher level of the study that you do at GCSE. So it is still looking at formal elements and composition, just on a slightly more advanced level. At college we had a darkroom, so it was my first time using a darkroom, so there was a lot of experimentation with film photography, Polaroid photography, and darkroom experimentation in general. I then did some more portraiture work, and that's where I think I got more comfortable photographing people. But at college it's very much you're photographing your friends, which makes it a little bit easier. And that's a really nice place to start. They're so forgiving and they're patient, and you can have fun with it at the same time. So if you are someone who wants to photograph people, start with your friends and then work up to models and strangers and people off the street. I went to university in 2012 and I went to the University of Central Lancashire. I just did I was going to say boring, but not boring, just a plain photography BA honours. So it wasn't commercial photography, it wasn't fashion photography, it wasn't anything like that. It was just straight photography. So some of the skills which I'd learned in college, again, next level up at university. So way more darkroom exposure. Lots of projects around the history of photography and the progression, so lots of experimentation, looking at modern photographers a little bit more. That is alongside theories around photography in the media and all of that kind of stuff. So at university my photography started quite broad, but with anything with a concept, anything that had a story, had a meaning to it, that was what I was all about in the first year of university. In the second year of uni we got a fashion photography lecturer, which was so fun. I loved her. It was like a breath of fresh air as well, because we'd had the same lecturers for 2 years. And she gave us a live brief and she encouraged us to work with fashion styling students. So that is where my fashion photography and portrait photography sort of escalated much more. And a lot of that was the fact that I was partnered up with different stylists and they liked the way that I shot, so I worked with them quite frequently and I really enjoyed doing that as well. In third year I still did lots of collaboration because they were in third year too, and they were also doing dissertations, final projects, and striving to get those high marks, etc. And then I did my own projects alongside that. So my work still tended to have a concept. I did like a project on beauty pageants. I did a project on nightclub and clubbing culture. So yeah, it was kind of things like that that went alongside the fashion stuff that I had no part in the concept of those fashion shoots. I turned up, I took the pictures, I did the editing, I made adjustments based on what they wanted. They were for their projects, they weren't for my projects. But obviously I built an amazing portfolio during that time, and it really allowed me to work with different people as hairstylists, models that I would work with, modelling agencies. So yeah, it really allowed that creativity to sort of flow between both me and the stylist, which was really fun. And the days would be long days, but they would be really fun days to do. And I had full access to a photography studio, photography equipment. So yeah, that sort of is my background in photography and my education in photography as such. My photography now varies, so I think things have progressed a lot more since I left university and since I've been freelancer more full-time and part-time, in the sense that I do a lot of work with brands, influencers and people who just want portrait shoots, etc. So a lot of it now is really different to what I did at uni, and my work has progressed. I think it still progresses every year. So I still do quite a lot of portrait work. I work with influencers on producing high quality content. Same thing with brands. I do some odd bits of e-commerce work as well. That is essentially what I'm doing now, and you will see lots of that in the behind the scenes and in the exclusive content as well. I'm going to be bringing you guys on the journey for everything. So I'm going to be filming behind the scenes content on my shoots. I'm going to be showing you the setups and things that I would choose in those scenarios, tell you guys my camera settings, and be teaching you photography alongside all of that. So a well-rounded view into not just me and my photography, but photography as a whole. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to share, like, subscribe.